So, good afternoon, everyone. I would like to welcome you all for this seminar with the title Cybersecurity Awareness Webinar hosted by the DICT and Batangas State University. To begin with, let me start with the quotation from Stephanie Sapo, which says that if you think you know it well, if you think you know it all about cybersecurity, this discipline was probably ill explained to you. With this, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Unica D, and I'd be your host for today and the moderator of the webinar. To start with, the objective of our webinar are of the following. As part of the implementation of the fourth pillar of the National Cybersecurity Plan of 2022, which is the protection of each individual, this webinar will aim to explain the following: raise the level of awareness of the public on the importance of cybersecurity, help educate, empower, empower, and protect the individuals in cyberspace. With that, the following are the outline for the acknowledgement of participants. One is the outline are the following: acknowledgement of participants, webinar guidelines and reminders, introduction to agency's program and project, and of course, the opening remarks and the webinar proper, the question and answer forum. So please do not forget to at least chat your questions in our chat box, and of course, the closing remarks and the webinar guidelines. Okay, with that, okay, please be reminded of the following. The webinar is recorded for the documentation purposes and will be posted on YouTube. Kindly turn off your microphone and camera. Do not share your screen or do any annotations. Observe proper decorum and etiquette, and use the chat box or the QA form for your question and answers. Certificates will be provided to those who have attended the full duration of the seminar and answered at our post-evaluation form, and of course, passed the quiz with at least 70% of points. Use the webinar code posted on screen to access the post-evaluation form. Input valid and active email address when filling out the post-evaluation form. Please be reminded that our cutoff time for this email addresses will be tomorrow at 4 o'clock p.m. And for the replay of our webinar, kindly click the link below. Click the link below at youtube.com/cyberseclc2. For the mandate, for the Department of Information and Communications Technology, the programs and projects are of the following. They have these ongoing programs and projects, which are the free Wi-Fi for all, the Tech for Ed, the BPLS, Digital PH, the Government Emergency Communication Systems, the National Broadband Plan, the Central Business Portal, the National Government Portal. We have the Digital TV, the National Cybersecurity Plan 2022, the Philippine National PKI. As for the Batangas State University, we have the ongoing programs, the BatStateU KIST Park, the Center for Transformative Learning, and the Center for Technopreneurship and Innovation. With this, without further ado, let me call on our, our Dean, Miss Maria Graciela R. Bucad, for the opening remarks of the seminar. Thank you.
Good afternoon to each and everyone. I would like to thank you all for supporting us and the DICT in this campaign to be aware of cybersecurity. So, as we all know, everyone is at risk of cyber attacks, especially now that almost is everything is digital and that we spend most of our time in cyberspace or in the internet. Cybersecurity awareness, as we all know, is both knowing and doing something to protect our businesses, ourselves, information that are deemed vital. So when people are cybersecurity aware, it means that they understand what cyber threats are, its potential impact, and even the steps required to reduce the risk and prevent cybercrime infiltrating our spaces. So we laud the ICT Cybersecurity Bureau, BatStateU, and other agencies that promote such together with our extension office. I hope our attendees, teachers, employees, administrators, parents, and students realize that these days creating a culture of cybersecurity awareness is a must. So being cybersecurity aware means that we understand what the threats are and we know the right steps to take and to prevent them. So and that is what we are expecting to hear and learn from our resource person. So please note that BatStateU and the ICT that we are one in helping spread the word to promote a safer, more productive, and digital experience for all of us. So with that, good day and happy listening. Thank you very much. Po.
Thank you so much, Dean Grace, for the enlightening opening remarks. So may I call on Engineer Reynaldo TC from the Director Regional Office Luzon Cluster 2 of the Department of Information and Communications Technology for the opening remarks as well. Okay, so I think Dr. Engineer Reynaldo is not yet around, but with this, let us start the program, the proper program. Let me introduce to you our first speaker. Ms. Clea Reyes graduated with a bachelor's degree in Consular and Diplomatic Affairs from the De La Salle College of St. Benilde. Although an international affairs graduate, she immediately started her cybersecurity journey with the DICT in 2016. She is also a graduate of the executive course on the application of international law in cyber operations in Bangkok, Thailand, and the alumni workshop on international law, norms, and capacity building measures applicable to cyber operations in Singapore. She is an alumna of the Investigative Training course conducted by the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation and is also trained under the Asia Pacific Information Security Training course in Seoul, South Korea. She is the public information, education, and communications lead of the DICT Cybersecurity Bureau. Miss Clea is mostly involved with the cybersecurity advocacy campaign and the cybersecurity academe initiative and the various project and policies relative to cybersecurity. Without further ado, may I call on Miss Anjanette Clea Marie G. Reyes. Thank you.
Good morning po. Hello. Narinig na po ba ako?
Yes, ma'am.
Ayan. Thank you, Miss Unica, for introducing me. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon again. My name is Clea from the DICT Cybersecurity Bureau, and as mentioned, I am involved with the Cybersecurity Awareness and Advocacy team. And this afternoon, I will be discussing cybersecurity awareness, how to be cybersafe. So just sit back, relax, and I hope you listen. Okay, so let's begin. Let me put up my slides. Wait lang po. Okay. Okay, can you see my slide na po? Hello, clear
Yes,
na ba?
ma'am. Okay na po. Clear na po.
Sige, thank you po. So today, as mentioned earlier, I'll be discussing cybersecurity awareness, how to be cybersafe. Especially nowadays na nag-increase na ang ating screen time because of the COVID crisis. Now, this is our reality today. The COVID crisis pushed us to adjust how we live. Okay? May mga strict quarantine in place na po, may mga curfews, okay? Tas may mga health protocols. Now, with all these in place, kamusta po tayo? How are we dealing with things? Okay, ngayon po ba, ilang months na po tayong nasa bahay po natin? May mga na-develop na po ba tayong mga talents po natin? Or marami na po ba tayong mga naipon na mga items na binibili natin po online? Okay, November na po, 11/11 na po, mga nag-aabang na po tayo. But even way before the COVID pandemic, very immersed at babad na po tayo sa internet and sa ating mga phones. Alam po ba ninyo that in 2015, the Philippines was tagged as the social media capital of the world? Bakit? Because netizens of the country spent 4 hours and 15 minutes a day on social media. Okay, 5 years ago po yun, 4 hours na po a day tayo. Fast forward to 2020, 5 years we are still the reigning social media capital globally. So matagal na po tayong nasa cyberspace. We have had cyber-related cases. We have actually done online learning or online classes. Work from home or online businesses are actually not really new for some people. Even online dating, okay, yung mga long-distance relationships, dati pa nangyayari yung mga ganito. And when the COVID crisis happened, our usage and dependence to ICT increased. Okay, because of logistical limitations, hindi na basta-basta pwedeng lumabas ng bahay, we have become more reliant to the internet and on our phones or devices. So aside from depending on online services for our essentials, okay, dahil nga we are stuck in our homes, we spend more time on the internet for our entertainment and to cope with things. Okay, so before, kung isa o 3 episodes per day lang po tayo, pag nanonood po tayo sa Netflix or sa YouTube, baka ngayon 1 or 2 seasons, kaya na natin ng isang araw. Okay, so dati talaga babad na tayo. So mas lalo pa ngayon. And this July 2020 data from Hootsuite and We Are Social shows the growing dependence of individuals to the internet and their devices in selected countries worldwide. So here we see a 70% increased time spent on mobile phones, 47% on laptops, 33% increase in desktop, tapos 32% increase in media streaming. Okay, so dyan yung mga nag-Netflix, yung mga marunong ng mag-Nihongo or mag-Korean, okay? Mga saranghe, annyeonghaseyo. Tapos dyan din, pati tablets and game consoles, may mga increase din ang time usage. And this next data shows how those gadgets mentioned kanina actually help people cope during the pandemic. So nandito yung mga activities na mga ginagawa nila using ICT. And 83% says that it helps them stay looped in sa mga COVID-19 updates. Okay? 76% claims that it helps with their children's education. 74% says that it helps them to keep in touch with friends and family. Yung iba naman helps with work, for entertainment, for shopping, groceries, mental health, access to healthcare. Then of course, dahil nga nasa bahay na lang tayo, kailangan natin maging fit. Kaya yung iba ginagamit yung ICT for exercising. And last is for income and finances. So we see how the pandemic affected us in a lot of ways. So these past few months, actually hindi na siya few months kasi malapit na matapos ng 2020, di ba? Nandito pa rin tayo sa sitwasyon ngayon. And kita natin how we have shifted from the kinetic world to the cyberspace. And as we continue to grow dependent on our gadgets and on the internet, mas nag-grow din yung chance for us to become victims. And we must understand that we are all vulnerable to online threats. Dapat maisip po natin that someday we can be victims. Kasi human as we are, pwede po tayong maloko. Okay, kahit gaano pa ka-sophisticated yung mga devices po natin. And the question is not if you are going to be a victim, but when are you going to be a victim? Kailan ka mabibiktima? And right now, I'll be giving you a picture on the world's cybersecurity landscape. Now, did you know that data is now more valuable than oil and is the most expensive asset in the world? So, pag di nyo pa po napapanood, I would like to encourage you to watch The Great Hack. It is available on Netflix. I think baka available pa po doon. It is a documentary explaining how the public's data was used for major global political issues like the 2016 US presidential election and the Brexit. Now, those events really prove the value of data and why data rights are human rights. Okay. 4 years ago, the Central Bank of Bangladesh fell victim to one of the largest cyber heists in history. And involved po ang Pilipinas dito. If you remember, we had the RCBC Senate probe in 2016 dahil 81 million USD ang napunta sa RCBC. So the heist was linked to a malware, okay, known as DICT, which compromised the bank software that is used to transfer funds. Then another global cyber attack, okay, if you remember NotPetya, it is a malware that initially pretended to be a ransomware when in fact wiperware talaga siya or wiper malware. Ano ibig sabihin nun? It means that it is designed para burahin yung files ng victim once na naapektuhan yon. And in 2017, around 50,000 company laptops of the Danish shipping giant Maersk got affected and its data got destroyed by NotPetya. So the total damage that this malware attack cost Maersk amounted up to 10 billion US dollars. And here's another cyber attack 2 years ago. So in 2018, 1.5 million medical records were stolen from SingHealth, Singapore's major health system, kasama yung data ng Prime Minister dito sa data breach na to. Okay, so kahit na very advanced ang cybersecurity capability ng Singapore, they are not an exemption to cyber attacks. And of course, the first step in protecting yourself is to know what you are protecting yourself from. We should know ano ba yung mga threats or attacks that we should be aware of para ma-prevent natin ito. And we are protecting ourselves from cyber attacks. So cyber attack is the deliberate exploitation of computer systems, technology-dependent enterprises, and networks. Cyber attacks use malicious codes that has disruptive consequences which compromises data and lead to cyber crimes, such as information and identity theft. In other words, a cyber attack, it is an assault launched by cyber criminals using ICT. And here are the common cyber threats that we should know and be aware of. So first we have malware, okay, or malicious software. This intends to damage or disable computers and computer systems. Hacking is the unauthorized or illegal access to data or information in a system, okay, or device or account. Then social engineering is the psychological manipulation of people into divulging personal or confidential information that may be used for fraudulent purposes. So in social engineering, may sasabihin or gagawin yung attacker that will lead the victim to give them the information that they need para magamit nila for fraudulent purposes. Now, while these are the most common cyber threats, it's important to know the other cyber threats out there. And these are 5 other cyber threats that you should watch out for. So kanina nga, as I've mentioned earlier, first is ransomware. It is a subset of malware in which the data on a victim's computer is locked, typically by encryption, and payment is demanded before the ransom data is decrypted and access returned to the victim. So earlier, I've mentioned the NotPetya attack, which is a malware na ang classification niya is wiperware, okay? Pero nag-disguise siya as ransomware. There was actually a cyber incident that happened before yung NotPetya attack. Baka familiar kayo dun sa 2017 WannaCry incident. Everyone was panicking, everyone was scared kasi who knows who will be a victim or who will get attacked. The thing about ransomware, you know na nabiktima ka kasi the hacker notifies you because they will demand something in return. They usually ask for Bitcoin as payment because the transaction is difficult to trace. So what happened in WannaCry underlined the importance of updating your operating system, okay, or your OS, because those that were exploited are lower versions of Windows. So when you fall victim of ransomware, important that once you get notified is you turn off or unplug your device because it could somehow help stop the encryption process. It's also important that you report the attack to proper authorities. And also remember, please don't ever pay ransom kasi this will only encourage the cyber criminals. And you are not even sure if your files or data will be recovered or if babalik ba talaga nila ito sa'yo. Next, the man-in-the-middle attack happens when a hacker intercepts the communication between two parties. Most common example is connecting to a public Wi-Fi or network. Ang pwede kasing gawin ng hacker is they compromise yung network by pretending to be a public Wi-Fi para sa kanila ka mag-connect instead of the legitimate public Wi-Fi. Okay, and then unless you do secured browsing, the hacker may spy on what you are browsing. Next, password attack. Okay, it is exactly what it sounds like. An attacker trying to access your systems or accounts by guessing or cracking your passwords. Paano? So, ayan, through brute force attack, dictionary attack, and key logging. So first, brute force attack. This involves running through as many combinations of potential passwords as necessary to hit on the right one. So what happens is hackers do a trial and error method to get your password. Next, dictionary attack means the hacker runs a dictionary of common passwords which is used to attempt to gain access to a user's computer and network. So here they have a list. Then through a system, i-enter nila lahat ng passwords or ng words sa dictionary as possible passwords. Last, key logging relies on getting a piece of malware onto your computer that watches what you're doing and keeps track of what you type, sending that information to a hacker. So, how long does it take to crack your password? So here in the first column, nandito yung number of characters, okay? The next column is the password composition. So see, the longer and more complex the passwords are, the longer time it takes to crack. So for example, ito, yung pagka 8 ang characters, tapos lahat lowercase, 4 hours and 7 minutes bago siya makrack. Pero pag hinalawan mo siya ng capital letters, okay, uppercase, tapos imbis na letter E, gawin mong 3, ayan, medyo tumagal, 6 months. Okay. Kaya ngayon, ang ni-recommend namin is to use 12 or more characters. Okay, kasi ayan, pagka 12 characters tapos lowercase lahat, 2 centuries and 1 decade bago siya makrack. Okay? So, make your passwords hard to guess and please, okay, do not share your passwords. Sayang naman kung hinirapan mo nga yung password mo tapos shinare mo rin, edi wala rin. Next, phishing. Phishing is a form of social engineering where hackers trick users into clicking on malicious links or opening unknown attachments so that you would provide your sensitive information. So we'll discuss more of phishing later. Next, DOS or denial of service attack typically uses one computer and one internet connection to flood a targeted system or resource. Then DDoS or distributed denial of service attack, on the other hand, uses multiple computers and internet connections to flood the target resource. So the goal in this attack is to render the website or service inoperable. So as you can see sa picture here, the attacker uses his or her computer to hack networks, which becomes botnets or zombies. Tapos these botnets are now used to attack the victim system or networks, which makes the victim system unable to perform. Now, What is cybercrime? Also known as computer-related crime, cybercrime is a crime that involves a computer and a network. So the terms cybercrime and cyber attack are interrelated. What sets these two terms apart is the motive. Some cyber attacks, the attackers have a particular objective which may involve a political stance, a personal advocacy, or yung paniniwala ng hacker. A cybercrime is done solely for personal gain. And of course, some cyber attacks can be cybercrimes. And dito pumapasok yung cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is basically the balance sa lahat ng cyber attacks and cyber threats. And as defined by the ITU, cybersecurity is the collection of tools, policies, security concepts, security safeguards, guidelines, risk management approaches, actions, training, best practices, assurance, and technologies that can be used to protect the cyber environment and organization and users' assets. So in essence, cybersecurity is the state or process, of being protected against the cyber attacks, or the techniques or measures taken to achieve this. So sa dinami-dami ng mga cybercrime or cyber threats, what do you think are the top cyber threats in the country during the pandemic? So here we have fake news, social media scam, and phishing, which are the top cyber threats in the Philippines during the COVID crisis. So when the pandemic began and quarantine rules are in place, ang daming nagkalat na fake news. And Republic Act number 11469 section F penalizes those who creates and spreads false news about the COVID-19 crisis on social media and other platforms. Misleading news kasi itong mga to, and these are very harmful and can cause chaos and panic. Kasi tayo, we are all in the height of our emotions. Kahit nga yung mga legit na mga news na mga nakikita or nababasa natin, we are already depressed. Nalulungkot na tayo or naiinis tayo sa mga totoong mga news. What more pa yung mga exaggerated and false news. So the DICT has done its part on countering fake news. So we report those false news that are forwarded to us. And we have also been conducting webinars spreading awareness on responsible digital citizenship. So kayo po, please, when you see news or information online, before you share, always check if the publisher is credible. Tingnan nyo po, sino ba yung sumulat niyan? Next, cross-check the information with other sources. Baka yung news lang naman yung nagsasabi nun. Ano ba yung masasabi ng iba pa? Then check the quality and timeliness. Minsan kasi ilang years ago na pala yung news na yan. Nire-repost lang pala at nagre-resurface sa mga timelines natin. Then of course, check the headline if it matches the content. Kasi minsan, it doesn't. Kawawa naman yung mga friends natin na mga naka-data lang. Nagre-rely sila sa headline. Yung pala, there's more to the story than the headline. Now, more than ever, kailangan natin maging careful sa actions natin, especially online. So wag tayo basta-basta share ng share. So dahil mas naging babad na tayo sa internet and sa social media, madami na ring mga nagbabantay sa atin na mga social media scammer. Ano ba yung mga scenarios ng scam? So dahil nga nagsistart na yung ating e-learning or online classes, meron tayong mga kasama sa school na minsan hindi nakakasabay sa atin. So may mga nangyayaring mga donation drive, may mga groups na nagtutulong-tulong para tulungan yung mga taong hindi maka-afford ng online learning. Tapos, so dahil nagpo-put up sila ng mga donation drive, ang mga hackers nakikiride din sila doon. Ang gagawin nila, kunwari may isang post, yung narrative doon na we would like to help this community. Ang gagawin ng hacker, ika-copy-paste nila yan. Tapos sa huling-huli, if you want to donate, please do so in these following information. So minsan, syempre, ang gagawin ng hackers, ika-copy-paste nila lang yung narrative ng story. Tapos sa babang-baba, ilalagay nila yung sarili nilang mga information. So kayo, if you are thinking of helping, confirm nyo ng mabuti kung saan kayo magdodonate. Kasi sayang naman na gusto nyo tumulong tapos hindi mapupunta mismo dun sa gusto nyong matulungan. Okay, so be careful. Then, tulad yung sabi ko kanina, yung mga nag-aabang dyan ng 11-11, when it comes to online shopping, para makaiwas sa scam as much as possible, do COD or cash on delivery, okay? Then, if COD is not an option, make sure to do transactions through bank transfers so that the transaction is traceable. Same thing pagka seller ka. Verify nyo ng mabuti yung clients nyo that you work with. Okay? So, ayan. Ano pa ba? May mga receive din kaming reports on social media scam on catfishing. So ano po yun? Catfishing is a deceptive activity where a person creates a fake persona online to target specific victims for abuse or fraud. Okay, so be careful sa mga blooming relationships this pandemic. Hindi porket sinabihan kang maganda or kain na tayo, gising ka na ba, tingin nyo pag-ibig na yun. Hindi po, baka catfishing lang po yan. Maya-maya mangungutang na po yan. Babe, pautang po 3,000, babayaran ko agad. Dahil tinawag kang babe, magpapautang ka naman. Tapos naka-block ka na. Okay, wag ganon. Wag kayong magpapaloko. Okay, so there's nothing wrong naman with validating the identity of the person you are talking to. Lalo na kung na-meet mo sila online. Always remain vigilant and be on your guard. Kasi kayo po ang kawawa pagka nabiktima po kayo. Okay? And of course, as I've mentioned earlier, phishing. So we have been assisting people who fell victim to phishing. Common reports include getting phished by akala nila mga banks nila. So remember, banks will never ask for your OTPs or your one-time pins, okay, tsaka yung mga personal information nyo through emails or websites. And when you receive suspicious messages, okay, try to check the grammar of the message kasi institutions are professional, okay? So check how the message was written. Pero then again, some hackers are becoming formal na rin. So just be aware. Then do not click external links in suspicious emails. And also another thing, consider it a red flag if there's an ultimatum. Search for red flag indicators like, this is urgent, please accomplish this immediately. Or you need to complete this within 24 hours or else your account will be deactivated. Okay, if there is an immediate call to action, consider it a phishing email. Pag may ultimatum kasi, ang tendency is nagmamadali ka. So wala ka ng time para mag-isip. Natataranta ka kasi. Okay, so give yourself time to check the official website or the of the company or call their official numbers para i-verify nyo yung message na nare-receive niyo. Okay? Ano ba yung mga scenarios ng phishing mostly sa students? Minsan dyan may magsasend sa'yo na, please, sagutan nyo tong survey na to at magkakaroon kayong free voucher. May magkakaroon kayo ng free burger or tacos. Okay? Bilisan nyo, ano lang tong promo na to for 5 hours lang. Siyempre kayo gusto nyo naman magkaroon ng free. Free yan eh. Tayong mga tao gusto natin ng libre. So ang gagawin yan, pipindutin. Tapos mamaya magbuhat ka ng, okay, nasa na yung burger ko? Wala ka ng burger, nakuha pa yung information mo. Okay? O kaya sabihin sa'yo, uy, bro, sis, check mo to. Tinan mo yung nangyari kay ganito, ganyan. Tapos ang nakalagay dyan, link na i-click mo na parang siyang video na ipe-play. Pero you have to click the link first bago mo makita. Okay? So syempre kayo may intriga kayo. So be careful sa mga ganong phishing attacks yung mga yan. Pwede mo naman tawagan yung kaibigan mo kung talagang siya talaga yung nag-message. Okay? There's nothing wrong naman. Huwag kang magmadali. Okay? Give yourself time. Isipin mo muna, legit ba talaga to? Okay? Kasi yun nga, banks will never rush you or companies won't rush people through yun nga, emails or sa messages. Okay? Kasi minsan yung mga iba nare-receive naman, please change your password sa Facebook. Tapos pagka kinlik mo naman yung link, mapupunta ka sa isang site na mukhang Facebook nga naman. Okay? So maging skeptic tayo sa mga ganyang mga bagay. Lalo na lagi na tayong nasa internet, lagi na tayong online. Okay? So now that we know that there are a lot of cyber attacks and cyber criminals lurking online and waiting for us to let our guard down, we now know that we are all vulnerable. Okay? Vulnerable tayong lahat. It's only a matter of when. Now that you are at home, ayan, lagi kang nasa bahay, tapos pagka nakaka-receive ka ng messages, wag kang basta-basta magpapaniwala. Ayan nga, sabi ko nga kanina, rushing and the lack of awareness make the perfect setting for a successful cyber attack or cybercrime. Pag nagmamadali ka kasi, when you are in a hurry, natataranta ka and you do not allow yourself to have time to think about things. Tapos, pag wala ka pang awareness about the latest modus or crimes, you could easily fall victims to cyber attacks. If you notice, the common narrative sa mga victims ng mga ganyan is, hindi ko kasi namalayan, mukhang legit naman. Hindi ko napansin, naloko na pala ako. Yung mga ganun. Kaya yung mga bagay talaga na minabadali, Diyos ko po, walang magandang patutunguhan yan. Okay, so take it slow, don't panic, and always take your time. Ayun na nga po, nasa bahay lang po tayo ngayon. So, dahil sa marami pong mas dumadagdag pa po ang threats online, how can we be safe in the new normal? Now, first of all, back up. Remember po, zero risk does not exist. Always back up your files on your devices. Mag-invest po tayo in external hard drives or in cloud storage, especially po if your work is confidential in nature or kahit kayo po as students, syempre mga pinaghihirapan niyo yung mga homeworks niyo, yung mga assignments niyo, yung mga research paper niyo. Sayang naman kung dahil hindi kayo nakapag-back up, okay, is mawawala na lang lahat. Masakit po yun. Don't wait for another ransomware to happen. Always back up so that if ever may cyber incident na mangyari ulit, you are prepared. O yan, meron tayong tinatawag na 3-2-1 backup rule. So, ang sabi dun sa rule is, you should keep at least 3 copies of your data, store 2 copies on different storage, and make sure one of the copies is located off-site or sa malayong lugar. Pero syempre, dito yan sa mga companies na may mga talagang confidential and sensitive yung mga work. Okay? Pero, ayan. So, yan. 3-2-1 backup rule. So next, do secured browsing. If you recall, the man-in-the-middle attack, if by chance you get tricked into connecting to a hacker's Wi-Fi, you must use HTTPS, and if you'll use public devices, use incognito mode. Okay, so do secured browsing. Next, VPN or virtual private network is a software that can change your IP address and encrypt your internet traffic. So use VPN, especially yun na nga, if you're handling sensitive data or if you are transferring sensitive files offline onto the cloud or vice versa. Okay, using VPN kasi makes the connection encrypted and it won't be easily intercepted by hackers and any other dangers waiting on the internet. Next, let's use antivirus and make sure that the antivirus you are using is updated. So mag-invest tayo dyan. So marami pong available antivirus or anti-malware dyan po. May mga free, may mga license. Okay? So kayo po, kasi po kami, hindi po kami pwede mag-endorse. What is the best antivirus? Okay? So basta use whatever you are using right now. Pag gumagamit po kayo ng Windows, available po dyan ng Windows Defender. Just turn it on, make use of it. Okay, hindi po natin kailangan ng napakadaming antivirus, okay, para ma-secure ang ating mga devices. And of course, make sure lang po na i-patch nyo or i-update nyo yung system ninyo. Next, use firewalls so that pag may na-visit kang websites that may contain malware, it won't affect your computer. Okay? Ayan, so earlier we discussed how long it takes for your password to get cracked and how you should keep them strictly private. It's also important to use different passwords for different accounts because if a hacker gets access to one of your account, then if same ang password mo across all your accounts online, wala na, it's game over. Okay, so refrain from using ordinary, easy to guess dictionary words. Baka naman yung password mo is yung name ng crush mo, or yung name ng aso mo, or yung crush mong aso, de joke lang. So yung mga ganun, basta wag yung mga information na madali i-attribute sa'yo. Okay? And because an 8-character password is dead nga kanina, 6 months, pwede na siyang makrack. Okay, some even recommend using a passphrase, okay, phrase instead of a password. So be creative when you create your password kasi this is the first line of defense in securing your personal and sensitive information. Next, secure your devices. Be careful of what you plug into your devices. Remember, your devices are very personal to you. It knows so much about you. Okay, nandyan nakastore, nakasave lahat. Mga memories, mga information ng mga kaibigan natin, nandyan yan. Next, don't mindlessly install third-party apps directly from the internet like APKs. Verify first if what you're installing is safe and is from a well-known, safe, and legitimate website. Okay? Or as much as possible, install from Play Stores or App Stores. Next, don't forget to update your computer systems and phone systems and applications. Remember that the WannaCry targeted those with old OS. Then last, be mindful in connecting to free public Wi-Fi networks. Next, secure your online accounts. Use two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication. So yes, our passwords are our first line of defense, or how about we add another layer of security, especially if available naman. Make use of these security features. Then only add people you know. Remember, marami ng social media scammers waiting for you to let your guard down. Most of the time kasi cyber threats or cyber attacks won't work pag walang user engagement. Okay? So, do not engage. Last, do not do ATMs or at the moment posts. As much as possible, we would like to encourage you to not reveal your current location online kasi you don't know who's stalking or monitoring your posts and what intentions they may have. Okay? So here, let's watch this clip about a certain magician with tricks. Let's know further why you should secure your online accounts. Okay, so wait lang, play natin ito. Okay. Ayan.
Dag Fien. Wat kun je doen? Ik zie een school tegen Antwerpen.
Ja,
Insecten.
alsjeblieft.
Ik voel twee insecten op je rug. Kan dat?
Ja, vlinders.
Slovenië?
Zo hè.
Een moto. Oranje. Pas erop. Zenit.
Oui, oui, bien.
Je hebt een vriendin. Julie de...
Ja,
Een boeiend liefdesleven. 3, 4 zelfs.
die vierde, daar zwijg ik meestal over, dus dat weten niet veel mensen.
Volgens mij is Piersgeur. Maison rouge, balcon blanc. Ja. Ik zie geld, ik zie transacties. Maar kent je rekeningnummer van buiten? Ik denk dat ik het wel weet. Die staat wel negatief op je bankrekening.
Ja?
97. Last month, you spent €200 on alcohol. Vorige maand €300 aan kleding gespendeerd. 8,
Ja.
5 voor een huis dat van eigenaar gaat veranderen. €295.000.
Ja, eigenlijk.
41.
Ja.
Is dat juist?
Ja, dat is juist. Oh my god. Oh man. Ah, dat is, ik weet niet hoe eng.
Okay. So, ayan po. Be vigilant. Please secure your online accounts and be mindful of your online activities and what you post and share online. And of course, be careful din with the people you share your online life with. Okay, so let's go back to my presentation. Ayan. Diba? Okay, so secure your online accounts. Okay, ayan. Next, privacy and decency. So there's nothing wrong naman with sharing things online, okay? Lalo na kung private naman, kaya nga naman siya tinatawag na private message. Okay, PM sent nga, di ba? But we must always think of the impact or the consequences ng mga sinasend natin online. Assess if it is absolutely necessary and if you are ready, if ever, for other people to see it. Talaga bang isasend mo yan? What if makita yan ng parents mo or ng mga kapatid mo, di ba? Is it really necessary? Always give importance to your privacy and decency. Iba na talaga po kasi yung mga tao ngayon, you can't trust everyone. Okay? Sakit po. Which leads to my next tip. Awareness and attitude of distrust. So ngayon ka na maging praning. Don't wait for a tragic incident to happen. Okay? Para ma-change yung perspective mo sa buhay. Practice the attitude of distrust. Be skeptic about everything you see online and the messages you receive. Let's lessen our curiosity, okay? Baka dahil uso lang yan. Di ba dati may maraming nauso yung anong itsura mo pagka tumanda ka na or sino yung mga kamukha mong artista. Di ba? So let's lessen our curiosity kasi minsan the price to pay is our information or our data. Okay? Even if the message you are receiving is from your friend, check it carefully. Baka your friend got hacked. Who knows? And of course, let's be aware. Be aware of the latest trends of cybercrimes and cyber attacks. Be on your guard. Attend webinars. There are a lot of available resources online that you can watch or read. Okay? So be vigilant and be aware. So lastly, it is imperative that when you fell victim to online threats or if you know someone who needs help, you report and ask help from authorities. And where should you report? According to RA 10175, also known as the Cybercrime Prevention Act, only 2 law enforcement agencies are authorized to act on cybercrime reports in the Philippines. And the PNP-ACG, okay, and the NBI are mandated to exclusively handle cybercrime cases. So here are the contact details of the Philippine National Police Anti-Cybercrime Group and the National Bureau of Investigation Cybercrime Division. So you can take notes. So meron silang telephone and mobile numbers, pati Facebook page. Ayan, meron po ang PNP-ACG. So for cybersecurity issues or technical queries for CII or national government agencies, nandyan po ang CERT-PH, okay, the official and national CERT of the Philippines. So here are the numbers that you can call. So we also have the National Privacy Commission or the NPC for privacy concerns and the DOJ. Okay, so cybersecurity should be a whole of nation approach. So cybersecurity is not just for the tech savvy, it's everyone's concern. Everyone has the right to be aware and cybersafe because as said by Newton Lee, as the world is increasingly interconnected, everyone shares the responsibility of securing cyberspace. And for you to be secured, yun nga, yung mga tips ko kanina, also invest in cybersecurity, invest in applications or softwares, and of course, mag-invest kayo in learning, okay, the latest trends. Remember, important ang awareness. So cybersecurity is not expensive compared to the cost of having a cyber attack. Mag-invest kayo sa tama bago pa mahuli ang lahat. Okay? Ayan. So please check out our Facebook page. We have advisories, online campaigns, and other cybersecurity updates. We are also on Twitter and YouTube. Please like, follow, and subscribe. Chat nyo lang po kami if you have any security concerns or questions. May magre-reply po sa inyo. Okay? So that ends my discussion. I hope you were able to get something out of it. And if you did, please share this sa mga kakilala nyo. Help us spread awareness and let's help make everyone cyber safe and secured. Again, I'm Clea. Maraming salamat po sa pakikinig. And stay tuned lang po kayo. Interesting din po yung next topic po natin. Okay, so thank you all and let's all stay cyber safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Clea, for the tips and the do's and don'ts for our cyber security as well. For our next speaker, he is a BS Computer Information Science from FEU, Institute of Computer Technology, an alumnus of Japan International Cooperation Agency in Tokyo, Japan, an alumnus of Jakarta Center for Law Enforcement Cooperation, an alumnus also of International Visitor Leadership Program, exchanged by the U.S. State Department. He completed the Certificate of Cloud Security Knowledge and the Certified Information Systems Security Professional Training. He is currently preparing for the global recognized certification exams. He has an extensive experience in presenting digital evidence and stood as an expert witness in court. He had a 17 years in IT and 3 years in cybersecurity experience and currently manages a small web hosting business for more than 10 years. Currently, he is also working as the lead incident responder of the National Computer Emergency Response Team of the Cybersecurity Bureau, Department of Information and Communications Technology. Without further ado, may I call on Mr. Alwell C. Mulsid.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Anybody can confirm if okay yung sound ko? Hello?
Yes, clear ka po.
Yes, sir. Dear po.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so again, my name is Alwell. So basically, I'm the same bureau with the first speaker, Ms. Clea. Okay, we're going to discuss, let me share my screen first. Okay. Wait muna. So I'll off na rin yung video ko muna. Okay, so nag-load na. So I'll be talking about setting up a secured environment. So I'm going to tackle the following. So I'll be discussing cybersecurity in today's new normal. So kanina, first speaker natin, she shared some of the basic and some tips on how to be secured. Ako naman, I'll try to be actually I customized this presentation to so that the students and the academia sector can easily understand it. So yun yung usapan natin sa cybersecurity in today's new normal. Then understanding also and securing our digital devices. So that's include laptops, computers, and even mobile phones. So then I'd like to share also a very basic way on how you can do this the securing of your devices. So mag-share ako ng mga basic tools and even basic resources for checking kung paano ba mag-check kung na-hack yung computer ko. Diba? Kasi I believe with today's trend that we spend a lot of our time online. So I believe each and everyone should know, not just to be aware, but should know how to at least do basic checking and basic security parang activities. Paano mag-erase ng mga malicious files, paano mag-check ba kung hack na ba yung computer ko or laptop ko. Mas maganda na alam natin yung gawin. Instead of relying always to technical people, kung saan nabili yung laptop natin, mas maganda sa bahay pa lang or sa school, alam na natin kaagad kung paano yung mag-check mo. Yung pag-usapan natin. I hope may natapos ko to within like maybe 40 minutes para may open answer question answer pa lang tayo. Okay, then, okay. So, cybersecurity in today's new normal. Before that, I'd like to present ito yung statistics. Ito yung statistics na gather namin o na-report sa amin from different victims. Even some of these are also, we detected it. So, ito yun. So, the biggest cyber crimes nangyayari yung fake news. So, as you can see, ang total niya ay 329 fake news since January of this year. Bali, nag-jump siya nung nag-start yung pandemic. Diba? It was mentioned earlier na talagang maraming nag-share ng fake news with different purposes. Yung iba, gusto lang manggulo. Yung iba naman, gusto lang din siguro to pass attention din. Yung iba na political in nature. So, ang advice natin, we should not get involved in this, yung mag-share pa. So, nabanggit kanina kung how you can spot fake news, basic way of spotting fake news. So, gusto ko siya isa-isahin ng mabilisan para aware kayo kung anong mga cybercrimes na I hope walang mabiktima sa atin dito. Kung meron man, or currently nasa sitwasyon kayo ng ganon, you can always contact us, contact our law enforcement and para makinig kayo ng tulong. So unahin ko sa taas, which is cyberbullying. Ito usually natitrigger to kapag you join sa mga social media or you join sa groups na magugulo yung groups. Ang purpose lang parang random discussion, yung mga kulitan. So maganda iwas na rin tayo sa mga ganun. Then isa pang nakatrigger nito ay pag if you comments ng negatively against sa ibang tao, minsan ang biktima ay siya yung nag-start din ng ganong comments na kaya siya na-bash online. So if you can not say anything good dun sa mga post online, ba't mari, huwag na tayo mag-comment ng negative. Of course, you can always like, you can always show heart or yung kung hindi ka sa ngayon, sad face, mga ganyan. Pero yung literal na you will type doon negatively, so medyo nakaka-trigger po yun. So iwasan po natin yun. Marami pong victims na pupunta sa amin, minsan ang cause din ng issue ay sila din. Okay? Yung iba naman talagang nabiktima lang talaga because na-target sila ng mga bad people, kahit wala silang ginagawa, may mga ganun din. Of course, mga ganito, nire-report po yan. Okay? So, ito yung mga umabot sa amin for the entire January to July of this year, 26 yung dami. Then, yung next pinakamarami yung data leak. So, data leak, this include yung mga organization na na-hack, na nakawan ng data, universities na nakawan ng data. Marami yan, nangyari this year. Kasi sunod-sunod po yan. Lalo na yung July, sunod-sunod. This is very important na maintindihan ng, let's say, school administrator na we should do more securing on how we can secure our asset. Kasi school yan, maraming students, information. So yun. At pwede pong mangyari sa kahit anong universities and colleges. Okay? Then next dyan, yung email web phishing, nabanggit na yung kanina, so hindi ko na siya masyadong banggitin. Yung mga biktima, more on example dito, let's say, bayaran ng tuition, nakatanggap ang estudyante or yung parents ng estudyante, yung pala, hindi pala official email yun ng school. So yung mga ganong cases, kailangan familiar tayo kung ano yung official email ng school. Okay? Then yung fake news, nabanggit ko na. Then financial hacking, mga bank accounts natin, we should protect it. Muna yung password, multi-factor authentication, may iwasan natin. Then mga cyber attacks, hacking, more on the system to, mga computers natin. Ito pang isa importante yung maintindihan natin na nangyayari din, identity theft. I hope walang nabiktima dito yung tipong ginaya ng isang cybercriminal ang buong Facebook account mo, kinapin niya lahat kasi naka-public ka. So kinuha yung picture mo, kinuha yung picture ng parents mo, kinuha yung picture ng boyfriend mo, girlfriend mo, ginaya talaga lahat. Pati post mo siguro, ginaya din, tapos lahat ng friends mo, inad din. So then, ang purpose nito kasi, day one na magmukhang legit yung fake account na yun para mabiktima nila yung friends mo rin and any family members na akala ng mga friends mo na ikaw yun. So, nangyayari po yan. Okay? Then, of course, yung online fraud, medyo nagiging problematic to ngayon kasi most of us are online, most of us are using mga shop online, makita lang tayo ng mga kanina nabanggit, mga free items online, just sign up, ganyan-ganyan. Yan. Nag-uumpisa mga online fraud, which is hindi totoo. Meron din mga legit, pero ingat lang tayo. Then online libel, itong mga nangaaway online, kung ano pinagsasabi na hindi naman totoo. So, pwede mabiktima tayo ng ganito, pwede rin may magkaso sa atin naman. So, ingat po tayo. Pwede magkaso po yung ibang tao pag kung mali mo hindi totoo yung sinasabi mo or you're destroying the reputation of another organization. Salita ka against that organization. To make sure, iwas pa tayo sa ganyan. Kasi if that organization is really, or that organization knows how to really file libel, talagang kakasuhan po tayo. May mga nagpapatulong sa amin sa ganito. Then online threats, ito medyo delikado to. If you encounter online threats, please report this to the law enforcement kagad. Automatic na po yun. Online threats are very serious things, kaya dapat i-report sa police kagad. Okay? Ransomware, sa record namin dito, hanggang July, medyo 4 lang na record namin. Pero, it doesn't mean hindi ito delikado kasi there are victim schools and organization, yung iba hindi nag-report sa amin. Hindi nahihiya or ayaw na kami involved. Pero minsan natitect namin to, nangyayari to kasi pinapost ng mga hacker na successfully they infected the organization with ransomware, malware. Then, isa pang importante na intindihan natin, sextortion, blackmail. Ito, please don't save any yung mga videos, private videos, mga pictures sa mga social media nyo. Iwasan nyo po yan kasi pag natin sa social media nyo, automatic po, malalaman o makikita rin ng cybercriminal yung mga saved videos niyan online. Hindi po storage ang social media. So don't keep that there. Or angat mahal sana wala na kayong video ng ganyan or private pictures. Kasi delikado talaga. If you have these things, may risk po talaga kayo. Either ma-hacking social media nyo or ma-hacking laptop nyo. Yung iba sa phone lang yan, which is hackable din. Any devices, any electronic devices na hack po yan. Okay? Then, social media, general, usually mga Facebook to Twitter na hack. Wala pong exempted dito, exempted. Usually, kunyari, yung meron malaking telco this year din, na-hack din yung Twitter nila. Then, may government website, government agency din, na-hack din Twitter nila. So, pag school, may Facebook account kayo, may Twitter kayo for your promotion and your some announcements. Make sure yung nag-handle ng accounts na yan ay knowledgeable sa cybersecurity on how to protect that account. Yung account niya actually, kasi pag na-hack yung account niya, since siya yung administrator ng social media page, ma-hack na rin po yun. So, ingat po tayo doon. Then web defacement, of course, yung device locking school may website. So again, please protect your website, your server to maintain yung reputation ng school. Kasi yung mga epekto sa atin eh. Pag na po yung website ng school, yung reputation bumababa. So kailangan aware din po yung mga IT natin sa school. So yun. Then moving on. Okay, cybersecurity challenges. So ito for general purpose lang yung statement na to. Lack of appropriate cybersecurity safeguards on work from home personnel, students. Bigla tayo lahat. Kung dati ang mga estudyante, yung mga walang laptop siguro, nasa computer lab ng school, ngayon, kanya-kanya tayo. Baka kanya-kanya protection ng mangyayari. Yun yung mga challenges ngayon. So both personal ng school yan at saka students. So yung mga teachers, ganun din. Same scenario. Kanya-kanyang protection. Okay? That's challenge number one. Then, another one, harder to monitor the threats to personal devices. Pag may nag-a-attempt mang hack dun sa isang tao, na school administrator or teacher or kahit yung IT personnel ng school, hindi natin siya na-monitor kaagad. Kasi, again, individual kasi ito eh. Versus yung sa school, nasa network ng school, which is protected. Somehow protected yan. Kasi mayroong default firewall, baka may advanced firewall pa tayo naka-install doon versus sa bahay, which is internet lang from the modem router ng telco, yun lang. Tapos basic lang talaga yun. So yung harder to monitor, yun yung mahirap doon. Pag sa organization, same issue yun. Nabigla tayo lahat, biglang nawala yung super advanced yung setup ng network natin sa opisina. During the pandemic, bali useless yun eh kasi nasa bahay po yung mga employees, yung mga estudyante. Then another one, ito, personnel, students are becoming the prime targets by cyber criminals which they are exploiting various vulnerability. Ibig sabihin nito, let's not forget, ang estudyante, hindi yan pare-pare yung level ng nila, ng awareness sila in terms of cybersecurity, di ba? May iba medyo aware na, yung iba sanay na alam na paano mag-secure, pero yung iba hindi. Yun yung ini-exploit ngayon ng mga cybercriminals. Kasi maraming estudyante nag-online, maraming estudyante ang umaasa sa Facebook para mag-chat yung picture nila. Ini-exploit po ng cybercriminals yan. There be a good chances na ang cybercriminals ay mag-pretend din na siya yung teacher mo. What if pag ganun? Alam mo ba paano mag-check na siya nga ba talaga si Professor number 1, to Professor X kunyari. Diba? Pag hindi tayo aware, baka pag may sinabing teacher, may contribution ng ganyan, baka bigla ka na mag-send na lang sa GCash. Or submission, please submit a 2x2 picture with information of your parents, ganyan. Paano yun? Kung hindi ka marunong tumingin sa ganun, bigla mo sinabit naman, chat lang gamit mo. So, nakuha na information nung kung ano hinihingi nila. Okay? Yan yung in-exploit nila ngayon. Or mahilig ka sa online shopping, mga mumura lang ng mga items. Baka bigla ka na lang parang i-fish para makapag-sign up ka sa ibang website na malicious din. Okay? So next, ano pang challenges? IT personnel inability to respond to cyber attacks on home user. Di ba? Pag may problema yung online software mo o hindi ka makapasok sa platform ng class mo, online class, di ba hindi ka masyado ma-assist ng IT personnel? Di ba hindi? Kasi again, babalik ako sa number 1, parang individually kasi we are responsible sa device natin, sa software natin. So yun ang problema. Hindi ka namin ma-reach kung mayroong nag-attempt sa'yo or may nag-attack sa'yo sa computer mo kasi hindi namin siya kaya monitor masyado from far, from the school. Hindi na. So yun yung challenges ngayon. So moving on, sa pa. Malware and ransomware can cripple school activities. Just imagine this. Actually, nangyayari sa US to eh. Maraming schools sa US and universities ang nabibiktima ng ransomware. kasi madami. So, mangyayari, wala silang pasok na matagal. Okay? So, hindi sila enrollment time na biktima yung registrar or information, student information na ransomware. Pag sinabi ng ransomware kasi na-encrypt yung computers na yun, lahat po ng data noon or information, hindi po mababasa po ng school personnel. So, ano gagawin natin? Di ba? Cancel yan. O postpone yung enrollment, mga ganyan. So, another one, a day infection can take weeks for organization or school to fix it, which is true. Pag nabiktima tayo ng malware ngayon or ransomware, hindi po yan basta-basta maayos kagad. Kasi maraming i-consider. Pag mayroong information ng estudyante, kailangan nyo i-report to sa Data Privacy Commission. Kailangan nyo i-report yan. Pwede nyo i-report din sa amin sa National CERT. Pero ang next question dyan, may backup ba tayo? Kung wala, na kung mahirap, it will take weeks for organization to fix it. Kasi nilinisin pa rin computer, i-check pa yan. Paano kung hindi rin maalam yung support dyan, yung IT? That's why it's very important, yung mga IT natin, we should send them to training as well para habang wala pa nangyayari sa atin. Kasi para pag may nangyayari, at least, alam nyo na paano gawin, di ba? So, may please include also yung policy. Kailangan may policy. Pag may nangyayari, sino man dapat kukontakin? So, we should contact the NPC, the National CERT, or law enforcement. Gusto nyo imbestigahan kung paano na kung sino hulihin, kung sino nag-hack nito or nag-infect sa inyo. Yun yung mga consideration. Then, ito naman, of course, we are expecting naman matapos din itong pandemic. But pag bumalik natin sa offices natin, sa schools natin, ng mga personnel, kailangan properly din yung mga information ng school na hindi naman kailangan dalhin sa bahay. Buburahin na po dapat sa desk, sa laptop ng professor, ng school administrators. Buburahin yung dapat. Dapat it will remain on sa devices ng school lang. Pagtapos na po yung pandemic. So, kaya nakalagay dito, personnel might not securely erase company information from personal devices. Kasi ang problema dito, pag hindi nabura to properly nabura sa computer, pag nahack po yung personal computer yun ng isang empleyado, may big chances po, mag-leak pa rin po yung data. Kahit luma na po yan, mag-leak pa rin po yung later on. Binibenta kasi ng mga cyber criminals itong mga information natin pag nanakaw nila. So may tinatawag dark web, hindi yung lumalabas sa Google, may special way to access that, binibenta po doon lahat. And with may presyo po lahat doon in dollars and in Bitcoin. Okay? Then, so, how can we address this? So, of course, di ko alam kung gaano ka organize yung school ngayon. So, you should implement technical configuration for all personnel and students. So, maganda din kayong nabibigay na secure configuration sa students. And of course, the teachers natin. Yeah, if you use certain conference platform or software, kailangan po, from the school mismo, meron kayong configuration na secured na pinag-aralan natin, yung po sinishare natin sa students natin. Para po uniform po yun. Kasi pinag-aralan natin kung ano yung secure na configuration ng isang, let's say, isang software. Okay? Kaya ano pa? Install monitoring software and other safeguards to personnel with work laptops. So, yung mga teachers natin, we should let's have budget for let's say antivirus, anti-malware. Importante po yun para hindi ma-disrupt po yung classes nila o para always clean yung laptop nila. Mas safe din sa kanila yun. Of course, ang reputation ng school hindi rin maapektuhan. So yun. Ano pa ba? Policy on how should all personnel delete company information from their personal device. Ito binango kanina. If everything will be back to normal na, I'm hoping talagang maging ganun. Dapat meron kayo policy o ikaw Professor X, okay, first na-install mo na-install mo pala itong student record sa personal device mo, buburayin na po natin dapat yan. So, meron policy po yun. Para pag na po yung personal computer, wala na po yung information ng school o ng estudyante. Okay? Pero ngayon, siyempre, we're using, or sometimes na, we're using a personal device, di ba, sa bahay. So, sa tingin ko okay pa yan kasi wala tayong option eh. So, yun. So, kailangan may policy. Then next, regular conduct a cybersecurity awareness program, which is parang ganito, which is good na naka-attend kayo, to personnel, student at all levels on the threats we are all facing in the new normal. So, ngayon, 100 participants pa lang, minus us. So, sana marami pang ganito kasi hindi pwede konting estudyante lang na-attend ng ganito. Kailangan tuloy-tuloy po to kasi every cybersecurity awareness ganito na tulad nito, talagang may na-absorb po yan na kahit kaunti na good tips. May na-absorb yan. Hindi ako naniniwala, wala kayong nakukuhang lesson dito. Meron parate. Okay? So, tuloy-tuloy po natin to. Sana this not will be the only batch na mag-attend ng ganito. Ano pa? Require all personnel, student to use authentication methods. So, yung example dyan, multi-factor authentication. Kung di natin alam to, kailangan explore natin to. So, basta tayo sa Google, hindi ako makapag dito masyado, makapag demo or something kasi may silang time natin. So, pero explore nyo po to. Then what else? Know where to report suspicious activities. Meron bang kakaiba sa computer nyo? Kung magalaw ba yung webcam ko, report nyo pa yun sa IT personnel ng school. Okay? Para mabigyan kayo ng advice kung paano. Or sa amin pwede. The organization should ensure everyone knows what are the official email addresses and accounts, which kanina ito bitanggit ko. Because cyber criminals can take advantage of this. Bayaran na ng tuition. Dapat na-inform ang parents, ang estudyante na ito lang po yung email ng registrar, ng school IT or ng professor. Ito lang po yun. Wala na pong iba. Pag may ibang contact sa mga estudyante or sa parents, ignore na lang po nyo yun. Kaya malino po yan. Kailangan parati nyo ito ni-remind sa mga parents. Okay? Para hindi siya ma-exploit ng cyber criminals. Okay. So, ito understanding security our digital devices na paano natin malalaman na hack tayo. So, ito importante ito. Signs you've been hacked. So, naka-disable bang antivirus ko by default? So, pag gano'n napansin nyo sa computer nyo, naka-disable ang antivirus nyo, usually nasa settings to makita mo yan. Or may lumalabas na mga message dyan, antivirus turn off. I-try nyo on yun. Pag hindi siya ma-on, i-try nyo mag-install ng new antivirus. Check nyo kung may install yung antivirus na yun. Ngayon, pag hindi ma-install yun, most probably, infected ka na ng sort of malware and viruses. Okay? Yun yung i-check nyo yan. Ano pa ba? Suspicious icons on your browser. So, certain malwares and trojans try to disguise malicious software as icon code. Alam niyo yung sa browser, kunyari, Chrome, di ba? Google Chrome. Pag may mga icons dyan na hindi naman inyo, hindi naman alam ano yan, i-try niyo highlight doon, i-try niyo ipadaan yung mouse pointer niyo. Check niyo kung ano yun. Kasi minsan kasi, advertisement icon yun Parang, tawag yun kasi parang adware, ads siya na hindi nyo na ma-install pero lumalabas yung ads. So ang gagawin nyo, get the name of the icon or website, then search it on Google on how to remove it. So, ito, kaya nyo gawin to. Kailangan masipag lang tayo mag-check o mag-read. So, basahin nyo lang sa online to, then pag-aralan nyo kung paano tanggalin. Kasi kung hayaan nyo siya doon, every time mag-surf kayo, magugulat kayo parating may ads. Kahit kunyari simpleng website naman, kunyari, pumunta ka sa website ng school nyo, wala naman ads ng school nyo, tapos may lumalabas na ads sa browser nyo, so most probably infected po kayo ng sort of malware. Okay? So yun ang gawin nyo. Then next, you are forwarded to different websites. So infected computer will forward you to different websites when visiting legit websites. ito medyo delikado to. Ibig sabihin to, malalim na to, na-hack na po talaga kayo. Kasi usually ang hacker, binabago nila yung sinasabi dito sa slides ko na yung host na file. Yan. Pag Windows 10 kayo, nandyan po yan. Pag naka-Mac po kayo, yan, makikita yan. So ang example dito, pag nag-type kayo kunyari ng facebook.com, ni-redirect kayo doon sa website ng hacker. Imagine, madalas ka gumamit ng website ng facebook.com or yung school nyo. Tapos nare-redirect kayo doon sa ibang website na posible same look lang din. Akala nyo Facebook yun. Pag gano'n masyadong malalim na po yung kailangan nyo na po i-format yung yung computers nyo. Kasi madalas magkakamali po kayo dyan. Kasi mga target dito like banking. Nag-type ka ng isang bangko na website na legit mapunta ko sa ibang website. Hindi nyo alam yun. So na-input kayo doon ng login details nyo o parents nyo, login doon. Yun, automatic po yun. Masasave po yung login credentials nyo doon sa website ng cybercriminal. So next time, alam nila yun. Pero ikaw, di mo alam na nakuha na pala. Okay, pag ganyan ito, format nyo na yan dapat. Or, open nyo nga yung address dyan, yung folder, edit nyo, check nyo kung may mga nakalista doon na hindi nyo alam. Ngayon, pag di nyo alam, siyempre, of course, you consult sa mga nakakaalam. Kung legit ba yun mga nandoon. Usually, ang laman niyan, wala. Like, yung IP na 0.0.0, tapos wala lang. Or local nakalagay, local. Yun lang nakalagay, local. Okay? So, explore nyo po yan. If you have time, please explore this kasi medyo importante ito. Then, ito na. Too many antivirus warnings. Sadly, minsan, yung mga cybercriminals, they're also finding ways na makapag-trick sa inyo. Kaya akala nyo, antivirus pala to. Okay, ito antivirus, maraming na-detect na malicious. Yung pala, virus din po yun, yung naglalabas niyan. So, what to do, get the error or warning message and search again. Google is your best friend dito. Lahat yan nasa Google. Kasi remember, hindi lang po tayo nakaka-experience nito. Nangyari na po to sa ibang tao. All you have to do, get nyo yung message, search it on Google, and know how to remove it. May step by step yan. Okay? So, yun. So what else? Ito, medyo importante. Weird webcam behavior. Na-experience nyo na ba yung bigla mag-on yung webcam nyo? Bigla mag-iilaw kahit wala kang ginagawa. So, ito, I really suggest you need a factory clean install na. Format nyo na yan. Usually, ang laptop ngayon, meron niyang secret key na upon booting o boot up, pinipress yun, babalatin sa factory reset. Siyempre, of course, you need to back up your files nyo na, mga personal files nyo. Kasi ang webcam kasi, pag hack to, na-on po ng cybercriminals to. So, that's why it's very important, pag nasa room kayo, o busy kayo, wag po yung naka-up po yung webcam ng laptop. Kasi there are risks sa ganun. So, basically, pinapatay nyo po yan yung screen ng laptop para po sure lang po kayo na hindi po kayo nakikita ng kahit sino. May mga victims po na pumunta sa amin na they were surprised na na-videoan pala sila na hindi naman nila alam bakit na-video yun. So, pag ganun kasi, mas probably na-hack po yung laptop ng victims nung nagbihis siya or mga ganun, naka-open lang yung laptop. Siguro, may kausap siya or nakikinig siya ng YouTube, nakikinig siya ng music, naka-on lang yun yung laptop niya. Yung pala, kaya pala i-on ng kusa ng cybercriminal. Kasi na-infect na siya ng malware. Remember, ang malware pwede gawin nyo na yung mga ganun. Yung sound nyo, pwede nyo i-on, yung webcam nyo, pwede nyo i-on, pwede nyo close din, pwede nyo i-screenshot yung kung anong pinapanood mo, kung nasa webinar ka, nasa online class ka, pwede nyo po gawin yun, i-screenshot po yung lahat. Lahat yan pwede gawin. So, pag ganito napansin nyo to, please, format nyo na po yung laptop nyo. Okay? So, yung application nyo dati gumagana, tapos bigla na lang isang araw hindi na gumana. So, try nyo muna, what to do, reinstall the application. Try nyo lang. Ngayon, kung maulit na naman to, kailangan nyo nang i-scan to ng antivirus yung buong laptop nyo. Kasi medyo hinalo na to na mayroon na malware sa loob ng laptop nyo. Kung pabalik-balik every time after nyo i-install, ayaw na gumana ulit kinabukasan. So yan yung mga signs kasi. Okay? So dapat may antivirus po kayo na naka-install, which is by default, mayroon Windows Defender dyan, di ba? Yung Windows 10. Yung mga lumang version na meron din, pero hindi ko na siya alam masyado kung na-update pa ba yun. Pero Windows Defender, na kasama ng Microsoft OS, it's a good start. Naka-install po yan, kasi ginagamit dapat yan. Okay? Okay, let's move to the basic security open source tools and commands. So ito, I want to share na sana ma-explore nyo to, magawa din nyo to. Basic lang to, pero it's a good knowledge na alam ng lahat. So yung mga medyo older participants, okay lang yan kahit hindi na mahilig sa ganito mag-aral. Hawakan nyo lang tong slides na to just in case may mangyaring gusto nyo mag-explore, pwede nyo po to i-try. Okay? Okay, una, so you can save this virustotal.com. So it is a free service that analyzes suspicious file. So, and URLs. So, pag sinabing URLs, di ba yung mga .com, yan. Domain name tawag doon talaga. And facilitate the quick detection of viruses more. Okay. Usually ito, ginagamit namin to as investigators of cyber attacks and cyber crimes. Pag may file kami na ini-investiga, file yun, ina-upload namin dito. Pag na-upload namin dyan, sasabihin sa amin yan na yung file na yung malinis. So you can do this as well. Kunyari, di ba nabanggit kanina yung kunyari, meron pinadalang picture. Regular picture lang. Or docs, Word documents. Kung medyo may hinala ka, yun ang sanhi ng infection ng computer mo. The documents naman, syempre, wag mo lang i-upload yung documents na may information doon. Wag na yun. Kasi masasave yun ng VirusTotal. Although legit naman to. Kasi yung VirusTotal, these are companies na nagsama-sama, yung mga technology nila, yung mga scanner nila, pinagsama-sama nila, kine-check to isa-isa. I believe nasa 80 plus yan. Sa ngayon, yun ang alam ko. Or kamali ako, pero marami po talaga mag-scan. Sabay-sabay po mag-scan po. Okay? Importante po yan. Next, ito, abuseipdb.com is a project dedicated to helping combat the spread of hackers, spammers, and abusive activities on the internet. Ito, more on kine-check to pag yung may gusto kang IP address. When we say IP address, yung address ng yung internet mo. Kunyari, di ba, let's say, 210.0.10.10, mga ganyan. Yun yung example ng IP address. Mamaya may papakita ko doon na command, pwede may paste dito yung IP address. Sasabihin niya ngayon kung may problema yung IP mo. Okay. For the IT personnel sa school, you can check your IP or yung website nyo, i-type nyo dito. Ngayon, kung ang report nito ay hindi malinis yung website nyo or yung IP address na nakatype dito, you need to do something. Ibig sabihin, infected po yung website nyo. As yung example, yung school website nyo, ilagay nyo dito. Pag hindi po malinis yun, nakalagay may mga nag-report, ibig sabihin, kailangan nyo po i-check yung files doon sa website, sa server. Okay? Para malinis nyo po. Kasi nag-report kasi mga tao dito, pag yung may umatake sa kanila using your IP, sinasabi dito. Pupuntahan nyo lang po to. What else ba? Problem. Okay, urlvoid.com. With urlvoid, you can analyze a website through, ito rin, ang purpose nito for reputation checking. Di ba? As school, we want to know na yung school natin ay safe para sa estudyante, safe para sa visitors. So, you can type it here din para malaman nyo kung ginamit ba ng cybercriminal ang school website nyo. Ginagawa kasi ng cybercriminals yun eh. Yung i-hack nila yung isang school website pero wala silang gagawin masama. Like, hindi na buburahin yun. Hindi na i-infect, hindi na sisirain yung data. Hindi. Pero, gagamitin nila ang attack ng ibang website din or ibang organization or ibang companies. Yun ang ginagawa nila. So, pwede nyo ma-check dito rin para malaman nyo po. Okay? So, what else? Ito, pang personal user. Tayo lahat. So, ang gawin nyo, i-open nyo yung command prompt ng Windows nyo. May icon yun, di ba? Command prompt. Explore nyo po yung command prompt. I-type nyo po ito yung command na to. netstat space dash ano. Lalabas po dyan ganito. Yan po yung lalabas niyan. Yung sa third column, yan po yung IP address. Yan yung yung IP address. Yan po yung mga, lalo na po yung mga naka-establish na kalagay. I-check nyo po yan dun sa kanina sinabi ko yung abuseipdb.com. Pili lang kayo dyan. Pag wala kayong ginagawa, kunya may hinala kayo, may weird nangyayari sa computer nyo, nag-open yung webcam nyo, nag-open yung, may mga nag-flash ng mga nag-open yung browser nyo mag-isa, i-open nyo po, i-run nyo po yung command na yon, yun ito, i-run nyo yan, tapos itong lalabas. Kung may time po kayo, kunin nyo po isa-isa po yung mga IP address nyo, yung nakalagay na establish. Then, i-paste nyo doon sa, nung kanina, yung dito, abuse IP, yan. I-paste nyo po dyan, sasabihin po sa inyo yan kung ano nangyayari. Kung ginagamit ba yung computer nyo sa sa masamang activities or kung sino pa may-ari niyan, IP na yan. Sasabihin po yon. So, in essence, pwede nyo po itong i-report sa amin kung may makita kayong malicious dyan. Siyempre, wag na po kayong mag-run ng mga, let's say, kung naka-torrent kayo, nag-download kayo ng mga illegal, malamang sa malamang po, meron po talagang malicious na nakabit sa IP na yan. Kasi marami pong mga malicious IP addresses na pag nag-download kayo ng torrent, automatic na po yun. Makakonect na, bad reputation na kagad yun. Lalo pag yung mga pirated. Okay? So ito, pang-check nyo to nung check nyo yan. Then, kung hindi nyo alam paano gawin, you can always contact us. We can provide a recommendation paano maglinis. So, mga basic lang, okay? What else ba? Wireshark, medyo advanced na account dito, but I suggest yung mga may yung gustong mag-cybersecurity, yun, yung mga IT, hindi ko lang kung sino sa inyong IT course or IT personnel, please explore yung Wireshark. Ito po yung command na niya, search nyo sa Google Wireshark, tapos download nyo. Ito play with it. Ito yung mga basic commands na pwede nyo magawa. Kaya sa filter yun. So, hindi ko na siya explain na malalim. In-open ko lang idea na may ganitong mga software na pwede ka mag-start basic investigation or basic securing your devices sa bahay. Pwede to. Baka kasi may makahanap tayo ng magandang or interesado sa cybersecurity dyan sa group nyo, sa participants ngayon, really encourage na try nyo yung cybersecurity part. At hindi lang pang personal, gawin yung career, pwede po yan. Okay, Veracrypt. Ito ginagamit ko to. It is a source, open source yan, available freeware utility used for on the fly encryption. Ano to? Ginagamit ko siya pang, let's say may USB ako, may critical files doon, may highly confidential na file, yung USB na yon. So, nirarun ko yung Veracrypt na yan. Veracrypt is a software, download nyo, search nyo sa internet, Veracrypt. Nirarun ko yan para ma-encrypt ko yung USB ko. Na ngayon, kahit mawala yung USB ko, kahit napulot ng ibang tao to, hindi niya ito mababasa naman. So, ito yung importante dito. Kunyari, meron ka ginawang backup. Pwede kayo mag-run nito para ang backup nyo ay hindi lang naka-zip, hindi lang naka-password, naka-encrypt pa. Hindi ito basta-basta mababasa ng ibang tao. Kahit hacker na, nahirapan din ito mag-decrypt eh. Okay? Pero syempre, i-test nyo rin to. I-try din nyo i-decrypt naman kung ma-open pa. Bago nyo talaga i-save to. Ganun ang style yan. Sa hard disk, pwede rin gawin to. Medyo advanced na yun Pero sa mga USB lang, pwede to gamitin, mga basic. Para medyo safe yung data nyo. Okay, what else? Okay, ito yata ang last ko. Okay, yan. LastPass.com. Ginagamit ko to. Ginagamit namin actually. It is a premium password manager. So, ibig sabihin, sa dami ng accounts natin sa buong internet, di ba? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, lahat na yan. May accounts tayo lahat. Siyempre, school access natin. Pag naka-install ang LastPass na to, software to, isa lang tandaan yung password, yung pinaka-login nyo dito. Tapos, lahat na yon hindi nyo kailangan i-memorize yun. Pero siyempre, kailangan mahaba po yung password na yun para maganda. Hindi nyo kailangan i-memorize yung iba kasi ito kasi LastPass, may install sa browser to. Tapos anytime mag-login kayo, parang isang click na lang to na siya nang bala mag-login dun sa'yo. So, ang advantage nito, noong una, hindi nyo kailangan tandaan lahat yung password nyo. Pangalawa, secured to. Ibig sabihin, ito kasi LastPass.com, meron siyang history of nahack to dati Pero, hindi nabasa ng hacker ang mga password ng kliyente nila, ang customers nila, or tayo, hindi niya nabasa kasi naka-encrypt siya. Okay siya. Ginagamit namin to. Ang team namin, ginagamit namin to. So, yun. Explore nyo, try nyo. Hindi mag-start lang kayo ng isang password sa loob. Tapos, pag nag-login kayo sa basic na lang, sa email nyo, gmail.com, login kayo doon, siya na po yung bala maglagay doon. Di ba ang iba sa atin ay sanay mag-save ng password sa browser, di ba? Yung para hindi tayo mag-login. Ang browser, maniwala kayo, hindi siya safe. Lahat po nakasave ng password sa browser, tapos may nakapasok na hacker sa laptop nyo, lahat po nakasave doon, madali po siyang basahin. Isang basahan lang po yun, makukuha po lahat ng password nyo doon. So, better use another program. Ito, LastPass.com pwede. Marami pang klase yan Ang tawag yan, password manager You can explore. Pero ito yung subok namin. Yung the rest, di pa namin na-try Pero ito yung software. Saya naman kami. Yung nahack na siya dati, hindi siya nabasa ng hacker. So, yun. So, before, I think that's the last one. So, before I end my presentation, so, understanding cybercrime, ayun, di ba, binanggit ko yung mga na-report sa amin, mga cyberbullying, extortion, phishing, and the criminal, binanggit natin kung ano ginagawa ng criminal, can give you a chance to be better prepared for a cyber attack. So, be it pang personal, be it for your organization, for your school, for your teachers, everyone should learn on how to protect our devices, our laptops, our mobile phones, our accounts online, lahat yan, kailangan natin gawin lahat to. Ito na yung reality ngayon. Hindi ito ubra, hindi ako mahilig sa IT or hindi ako mahilig aral ng internet. Kailangan natin gawin to. Kasi even our mga lolos, lola, nabibiktima rin ng cybercrimes. As in, nabibiktima rin sila. Nakakawa. May mga pumunta sa amin dito. Like, yung isa, mag-claim na ng insurance niya, yung pala may nag-claim pala iba. Yun, nanakawan siya ng identity theft, tawag dun identity theft. So, yun. So, kailangan lahat tayo marunong. So, sa bahay, maybe during dinner, pag-usapan nyo, kung mas maalam kayo kaysa parents nyo, ikuwenta nyo sa parents nyo yung tungkol sa cybersecurity. Kwento nyo. Pag mas maalam ang parents, pag parents naman kayo, may mga anak kayong maliliit or kahit mga elementary, kwento rin nyo how to be safe online. Hindi sila dapat nag-share ng basta-basta mga information sa mga strangers sa games, sa mga online gaming, ganyan. Ikwento rin nyo po yun para po aware sila. Okay? Then, of course, you can always contact us. Nabanggit na ni Ms. Claire kanina, pero ito sa amin, direct po sa team namin to, cert-ph@dict.com. I suggest you save this one kasi lahat po ng email sa amin ini-entertain po namin yan. May mga times super dami, may mga times na kaunti lang. So lahat po yan, nagre-reply po kami dyan, nagbibigay kami ng recommendation. Yung iba, dapat mapunta sa Philippine National Police, pina-forward po namin doon yun. Pag galing naman sa amin yan, sinasabi din namin na we will handle this, we will assist you. Okay? So, but of course, the most important thing dito, dapat hindi po tayo mabiktima. Hindi po kami masaya pag marami kaming nare-receive ng mga emails na nangihingi po na assistance. Hindi po masaya yun kasi ibig sabihin marami pong nabibiktima. Okay? So, I believe yun lang pong presentation ko. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Sir Alwell, for the very informative discussion. With this, here are the following questions that are being sent to us via our Google Docs. No? With the first question, I think this is addressed to Miss Clea. The question is, how do I start cybersecurity career without an IT-related bachelor's degree? Miss Clea? Okay.
Parang mas maganda po isagot po yan ni Sir Alwell.
Ni Sir Alwell. Okay. Sige, Sir Alwell.
Okay. May mga kasama kami sa team namin na hindi naman sila Actually, ang isang example, si Clea mismo. Diba nabanggit yung course niya kanina. Usually, ang starting point talaga dyan, yung interest talaga. Interest, then pag alam mo kung gaano ka in demand yung cybersecurity function o job na yon, mas gusto niyo po mag-cybersecurity. It's a good career. Start with ganito, cybersecurity awareness. Madalas, even me, hindi naman ako nag-start talaga sa cybersecurity. I'm an IT, pero sa dami ng webinars na pinapanood namin, gumigising kami ng madaling araw just to watch webinars, medyo natuto kami. Then the rest are hilig na lang talaga. So, unang talaga interest, then know kung ano yung opportunities sa cybersecurity. Super lawak siya, maraming trabaho sa cybersecurity. So, yun na lang, cybersecurity awareness, then explore yun by basic lang, learning your device na lang, yung Windows nyo. So, explore kayo dyan, familiarize it, then along the way, pag tumas yung interest nyo, talagang mag-aral kayo ng cybersecurity, how to use tools, how to use yung mga free tools. Maraming free tools, so hindi kayo mahirapan na mag-practice. Marami pong resources online. Yun lang po.
Okay, thank you, Sir Alwell. So, basically, sir, what you need is passion and motivation to study it.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, may isa pong tanong dito. Sabi po niya, if the used password was strong already, is there also a high probability that it will not be opened by others or actually be hacked po?
Ang isang babantayan natin, we need to understand even our password is very strong. Then let's say this password basically if you use this password sa let's say sa school access mo, yun na lang.
Okay, sir.
You use this password sa school access mo and you also use this password previously, let's say 5 years ago sa let's say yahoo.com na email mo. Let's not forget, yahoo.com email has been hacked parang twice na thrice. So lahat po ng listahan ng password doon, previously 5 years ago o 10 years ago, may listahan na po si hacker doon. Lahat na yan, may almost billion na po yung password na hawak ng mga cybercriminals ngayon. They use this to try sa mga access sa iba-ibang online, which is kasama mo yung school dyan. So, since nandun na po yung password nyo doon sa previously hack, most probably po, automatic po ma-hack na po yung access nyo ngayon sa school na to. Kasi nag-register po kayo ng password eh. So, kaya it's really advisable, long password, never nagamit pa dati, hindi pa siya nagamit. Pag ganon, I can say safe siya unless kung hindi naman malinis yung computer mo, kahit super haba pa ng password natin, may spy kasi yung cyber hacker ang criminals So,
Okay.
maano pa rin, mababasa pa rin yun. So, yun lang.
Okay. Okay, sir. Noted po dyan. So, talagang ideally, from time to time, we are to change our passwords and not to save it, sir, sa aming mga browsers.
Yes
Okay?
po.
Okay. Sir, eto po, may isa pa pong tanong. What usually comes after receiving a ransomware?
Usually, if the victim has a mean to pay the ransom request of the ransom of amount stated by the cyber criminals, natitempo sila to pay it. Kasi kaya naman na magbayad, especially if it's an organization. Especially, let's say, school. You don't have backup of the entire students' data. So, ang next option dyan, you are willing to pay na lang. Kaysa naman, you cannot do the operation na ulit. So, yun yung next temptation ng victim. But again, ang next kasi dyan, usually, if you have a backup, check ng victim, meron ba akong backup nito? Gano'n na makatagal yung backup ko? Like 2 months ago lang or last year pa to? So yun mga chinecheck po ng victim nun. Now, ngayon, if they have backup, wala na yun. Ignore na po yung ransom na yun na request ni cybercriminal. Kasi by default, restore mo lang po yung ulit yung na-encrypt na data. So back to operation na po ulit yung ano. But of course, yung IT dyan, IT personnel, magiging busy sila kasi they need to clean, they need to patch the system, they need to make sure okay yung network ulit kasi bakit ba sila na-hack? So usually pag ganito ma'am, better you report it to us actually, the National Computer Emergency Response Team, or you have also the option to hire another security company to clean your environment sa school.
Okay. Noted yan, sir. So, kapag may mga sir, anomalya sa cyber, diretso namin agad sa inyo. Sir, ito po, medyo technical ang tanong. Sabi po niya is there any VPN that you can recommend? VPN, sir.
Okay.
May ma-recommend po ba daw kayo?
Okay, we are not allowed to recommend any brand. But I suggest the person who asked the question, you just search the Google. There are numerous resources na when you search top VPN, ganyan, meron silang ranking. They also have explanation bakit siya top VPN software. Basta importante, your VPN should not save any log files. Yun importante doon. And please read the term of use of that VPN. Dapat that provider is clearly stated in the term of use na they don't save any log files ng customers nila. So, yun yung isang major checklist po yan.
Okay, this is noted, sir. Sir, second to the last. Do you advise to use software such as password managers?
Yes po. Personally, I use it. My team use it as well. Kasi ang chances kasi even security personnel, sa dami ng password ni-recall namin, there are chances din na nag-save din kami sa browser. Lalo yung mga hindi importante na mga logins, save ko lang sa browser, hindi naman importante. Access ko lang to sa old email ko or sa ganito. But with the password manager, yung ganong problema na mawawalan na yun kasi you're relying it to the password manager, which is so far it's not a perfect system. Lahat naman kasi ng software hackable siya. But so far kasi binabantayan din namin itong password manager na to na pag, di ba again I mentioned earlier, na-hack na to dati pero hindi naman niya hindi man nakuha ng hacker yung mga data ng mga customers because they have a strong encryption technology. So doon kami umaasa. Yes, personally I recommend using password manager.
Okay. Sir, thank you. Sir, ito po, ako po may personal question. Since we're talking about cybersecurity and cyber safety, sir. Sir, since pandemic is happening right now, so most of us are into mobile banking. Sir, from the DICT perspective, advice, can you assure the audience here right now, is it really safe to do mobile banking? Kasi I know a lot of people, they don't like mobile banking daw kasi it's unsafe. And yun nga sir, may mga balita na nahahack, nakukuha yung money. Though yun nga, yung mga banks, they can return the money naman within, yun nga lang, medyo matagal sir. Pero sir, from the DICT perspective, is it really safe for us to be in to utilize mobile banking? And what are our assurance na it is really safe po?
Okay, from my experience in responding to cases like this, kasi
Yes, sir.
I'm in the lead in the instant response in terms of cyber victims, mga cyber attacks. Sa mga top, siguro pwede ko sabihin, mga top 5 banks natin sa Philippines, I can say they are secured, including their apps. Kasi they have this budget to make it secure. Ngayon, pero next question, bakit may nabibiktima pa rin even this application are safe? Usually, may mga cases kasi ang sanhi ng ganitong issue sa user din kasi maybe they're not yet aware na meron lang tumawag sa kanila. I'm from bank number 1. I'd like to verify kung nag-transact kayo ng 10,000 just this morning. Siyempre, yung tao na yun, ay, hindi po ako nag-transact this morning. Tapos ang next question na nung cyber criminals na yun, na pretending from the sir, meron po kayong transaction this morning. Para po mapigilan namin to, you need to check this link para po mag-fill up kayo doon and to block the transaction. Pero yung pala, nung nag-fill up ka noon, yung pa yung nagbigay ng access sa cyber criminal. So what I'm trying to say right now is that if before you use or utilize mobile banking transaction or mobile banking, I think better you should attend muna ng mga webinars, mga read on how to be secure online bago kayo mag-utilize nito. Kasi hindi kasi pwede gamit ng new technology without understanding kung anong risk and without understanding on how to protect ourselves. Patingin ko yun ang best way. Learn first on how to secure, then utilize mobile banking. Yun lang, ma'am.
I see. So sir, given naman sir yung mga banks natin, so okay lang ang mobile banking pero we should be aware po nung mga yung mga ganyan nga po na online scamming po. Okay, so sige sir, noted. At least we can tell everyone na it's mobile banking is safe naman po. So with that sir, I would on behalf of Batangas State U, we would like to thank you thank you Sir Alwell and Miss Clea for your time this afternoon. So with this, we will be ending the program. But before we end the program, we will show a video, a greeting from Engineer Reynaldo TC for the supposedly welcome remarks this morning, the start of the program. So, sige, can we start the video?
Good afternoon, everyone. Marapati po niyo pasalamatan ko muna ang management ng Batangas State University for partnering with DICT-BatStateU Cybersecurity sa ating webinar ngayon. We'd also like to thank our Cybersecurity Bureau who takes time out to validate our request for a resource speaker. Natutuwa kami at nakikita at binibigyan ng kahalagaan ng ligtas sa pag-internet. With this COVID-19 pandemic, kasi sa paggamit natin ng ICT. Wala umagang gabi na computer na tayo. Lalong-lalo natin mag-aral. Hindi na tayo maalis sa harap ng computer However, it also increases the risk of cyber attack and even cyberbullying. Hindi talaga natin maiwasan na may mag-take advantage ng ICT for their own purposes. Like ng hacking, phishing, ransomware, identity theft, and even viruses. That's why most companies are strictly imposing and implementing cybersecurity protocol, like setting up firewall, strict virus updates, and even control the websites that test up to visit or nag-whitewash na po, nag-whitelist na po ng mga website. However, even the most secure network, there's still possibility na pwedeng ma-compromise. At ang usual and dahilan niyan ay kanilang staff. Madalas nakalimutan ng security protocol at may mga nag-VPN pa para makaiwas sa mga blacklisted site. The bad part is, pag na-compromise ang isa, halos compromise na buong network. We are at risk not only to COVID pandemic, but also at risk at cyber pandemic that could wreak havoc not only to our system, but also to ourselves and our family. Hindi tayo may internet, ay click ka lang ng click. This is the reason why we are here today. We need to inform the public on the effect of cyber attack, cybercrime, because all of us are at risk. We need to be vigilant and mindful of what we are doing. We should be on guard at what we are doing, especially if we are online. We hope that after this webinar, we can all be totally confident and safe and explore the cyber landscape. Be informed, be safe, think before you click. Good afternoon, everyone.
Right. Thank you for the video, Sir JR. So with that, to close our seminar for this afternoon, may I call on Miss Glenda Associate Prof. Associate Prof. Glenda M. Dimaano, our Head of Extension Services of BSU, for the closing remarks.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. To the Associate Dean of the College of CICS, Ma'am Graciela Bucad, to our two speakers for this afternoon, Miss Anginette Clea Marie Reyes and Mr. Alwell Molsid, and especially to the people behind the DICT. Thank you very much. So this webinar is very timely and helpful now that we are spending much of our time in the internet. And this is really very timely, especially to our students. At least our students will now be able to nagkaroon sila ng knowledge with regards to how to be secure in using the different platforms. And again, nagpapasalamat po kami doon sa ating mga speaker for this afternoon for sharing some tips on how to be secure. So sadyang napakahirap sa panahon ngayon na maging secure kasi marami sa ngayon ang mahilig manloko, mag-take advantage. So I hope na itong nangyaring ito na webinar ay nakatulong ng malaki, hindi lang sa mga estudyante, kundi sa ating lahat na din na naging participants sa activity ito. Sana hindi ito ang maging huli. This will not be the last. kasi malaki ang maitutulong ng mga webinar na ganito, lalo ngayon na we are now in the new normal, using the internet and using the different platforms and online ng ating mga transactions. So again, good afternoon and thank you very much, Ma'am Bukad, for spearheading this kind of activity. So God bless us all and stay safe.
Thank you po, Ma'am Glenda. So, for everyone, please, for the reminders, no, certificates will be provided to you as long as you have attended the full duration of the webinar. And please kindly answer the post-evaluation form and pass the quiz with at least 70% points. The webinar code posted on screen should be utilized to access the post-evaluation, and kindly provide us with a valid email address of yours. For the replay of the seminar, kindly click on the youtube.com/cyberseclc2 link. So with that, please, the webinar code is DBCW, and the post-evaluation link is at the one that is being posted. So please follow us on Facebook at DICT-BatStateU Official, the DIC at DICT.gov.ph for the DICT, and for the DICT Luzon Cluster 2, the DI at DICT-LC2, the DICT Batangas at DICT Batangas, and the Cybersec.LC2 for the DICT Cybersecurity Luzon Cluster 2. And with that, for closing, as the world is increasingly interconnected, everyone shares the responsibility of securing cyberspace. May this be a reminder from Sir Newton Lee. So with that, thank you all for your time and for attending our webinar.